So Allah says, وَلَئِنْ أَتَيْتَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ بِكُلِّ آيَةٍ مَا تَبِعُوا قِبْلَتَكَ. It says, if you came to the people of the book with every single sign, if you bring them any sign that you possibly can, they still will not follow your qibla. They will not follow your way. وَمَا أَنْتَ بِتَابِعٍ قِبْلَتَهُمْ. And you are not going to follow their qibla. وَمَا بَعْضُهُمْ بِتَابِعٍ قِبْلَةَ بَعْضٍ. And some of you are not going to be following the qibla of other people. So we've been talking about this importance of the qibla, of the direction of prayer, and how the direction of prayer changed after about 16 or 17 months of being in Medina. And yesterday we talked a little bit about how the qibla, the direction of prayer, is a unification factor for all Muslims in the world. But here, in this verse, we find that it also plays the opposite role. The qibla plays two opposing roles. One of them is to unify all Muslims. But the other role is that it differentiates Islam as a separate religion from the other religions that have changed their... You watch that later? Okay, so from the other places that it differentiates the Islam from the other religions that have come. So this is really important because today we talk about in our society the difference between two words. One word is assimilation and the other word is integration. And people discuss this and say, should Muslims assimilate into society? Should Muslims integrate into society? Or should we live in our own little bubbles? Should we have our own little Muslim, neighborhoods? Should every Muslim live next to other Muslims and all of that? And it's very important for us to understand the difference between these two words and what our strategy and our approach should be as Muslims. As Muslims, we are taught to differentiate ourselves from other people and other religions. But we're also taught to be part of the greater society and be part of the greater community and be involved in the affairs. People are now discussing the idea of voting, and should we vote, and should we be part of the society, and should we, be part of the PTO of our school, and should we be part of the local elections, and should we go to city council meetings, not just to protest, but to actually be engaged in all of that stuff. There's all these discussions that happen. And it's very important for us to understand that assimilation usually means that you become part of the greater community in which you live, and you remove your own independent identity. And you become exactly like everyone else. Say America is a melting pot, you melt into the pot like everyone else. Your culture, your identity, your religion, all of that doesn't matter, just be like everybody else. Of course, a Muslim can never do this. Can never give up, because Islam should be our core identity always. So we have to differentiate ourselves. We are not just like anyone else. But then integration means that you're able to interact with other people. You're able to kind of feel natural and at ease with your neighbors and your co-workers. You don't have to act all weird and look differently all the time whenever you go out. So wearing clothing that is somewhat similar to the clothing of other people, as long as it doesn't imitate their religion and things like that, that's called integration. And that's where a lot of people get confused, and they can only see the idea of two extremes. It's either you assimilate 100% into society, or you isolate yourself 100%. You don't associate with these kuffar and what are they doing? I don't want to talk to them and all of that stuff. And the reality is that in Islam, the best strategy, the strategy that the Prophet ﷺ even had, is in between. And that is integration, but not full assimilation. And this is the way to protect our deen, to protect our religion, and it's all connected to the idea of having our own qibla, having our own identity as Muslims, which we are differentiating ourselves. We're not just like everyone else. Muslims are not supposed to be like everyone else, but they're supposed to get along just fine, naturally, with everyone else who surrounds us. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the wisdom to be able to see and to be able to implement this in our lives. Ameen. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.